here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Well, that is right, my friends. You are listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. Much needed in today's world of insanity, and the political purge has begun. So be careful out there. Payback politics is in full swing. I welcome you to the program here. Email address, as always, todd@toddhuffshow.com, facebook.com/toddhuffshow, as long as our friends at Facebook allow that to be there, which, of course, given what we're going to venture into today, talking about Senator Josh Hawley, Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Rand Paul, election integrity, and the like. Who knows what's going to happen, but it's good to be here. You can email me your thoughts, questions, and yes, I will even accept that adoration and praise, todd@toddhuffshow.com. So, I say the political purge has begun. They want retribution. They want political payback. They want vengeance. Vengeance is mine. The Bible says vengeance is mine, declares the Lord. Democrat Party says vengeance is ours, declares Nancy Pelosi, declares Chuck Schumer, declares the other leaders in the Democrat Party. And so here we go, venturing into a post-Trump Washington, D.C. And as we've seen before, a return to, I guess, weakness and corruption. That's really, if you boil it all down, that's the way I see this. We've got to return to business as usual in Washington, D.C., and we have Republicans either being forced to, well, I don't say forced, bullied. It doesn't take much for some of these guys to be bullied. Bullied into capitulation. They want people to say certain phrases. Say it, Rand Paul. George Stephanopoulos basically was saying, which we'll play that soundbite here in a moment. It's actually, there's a lot that happened yesterday. George Stephanopoulos with Rand Paul, Pamela Brown of CNN, with Representative Madison Cawthorn of North Carolina. We've got Josh Hawley out there having to play defense. Basically, they want every Republican in Washington, D.C., depending on your era. When I was a kid, we had to say mercy. You might have been from the era where you had to say uncle. I don't know what else people have, to say, look, I've got you cornered. We used to play the game where you would grab hands and twist and contort your friend's wrists and fingers into a position until they said, mercy, oh, have mercy. And then you stop. And you kind of strut around saying, that's what I thought, buddy. I thought you were going to say mercy, and I have to have mercy on you. Otherwise, I would have ripped your fingers off your arms. That's basically how the 7-year-olds did it back in my era. And that's how they do it in Washington, D.C. amongst the adults today. They want you to say there was no stolen election. There was nothing to be concerned about here. Yeah, Stephanopoulos, George Stephanopoulos. We have some things. No election's perfect, right? That's what no election's perfect, but this thing wasn't stolen. There's no reason to have any qualms about anything. This is up and up. No concerns here. Everyone's just supposed to jump in line. And by the way, if you don't, you will be purged from Washington, D.C. That's really the phase of this process that we're going through today. Never mind that in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, that even got me winded saying that. In those years, it was expected that you were to say that Russia stole or influenced our election, right? How'd they do that? Through Pokemon Go ads. They tricked people who were going to vote for Hillary into voting for Trump. Fool them with an ad. It's a miraculous thing. With an ad popped up on their phone as they were gathering to do whatever they do at these locations as they play Pokemon. An ad popped up, and it tricked them. It hypnotized them, in fact. They went to the polls maybe that very day, depending upon when the ad hit their phone. They stumbled into the voting booth, and they pressed the wrong button. That's what it happened that we're supposed to believe back in 2016. We had remember, we had investigations. We spent millions of dollars into this. We looked into this. In fact, it laid the foundation for President Trump to be impeached the first time. The second time, there wasn't any foundation to be laid. They said, look, just impeach this guy. No evidence. We don't care. Just impeach him. No hearing, no defense, no anything. Just impeach him. Right? In the days leading up to his final days in office even, they couldn't resist the urge to do this. The political purge has begun. Payback politics are in full swing. And this is where we find ourselves this morning and over the weekend. In fact, I've got some sound bites that I want to play. I want to start here with Rand Paul. Rand Paul on with George Stephanopoulos this week on ABC. Right? The purge has begun. If someone exists in Washington, D.C. today who's a politician, if he or she says anything, raises any questions about integrity of the election, he or she is to be attacked relentlessly. In fact, even to the point where he or she is called a seditionist, a traitor, a treasonist. We need to get these folks expelled from Congress. These are legitimate conversations that have been, they're not legitimate in a sane sense. They legitimately have been happening. The political purge is well underway in Washington, D.C. They want to, in fact, if you mention election integrity and you're in Washington, D.C., you need to be expelled from Congress. You need to be attacked relentlessly until you say uncle, as I said earlier, or mercy. I'll say whatever you want me to say. Please stop, media. That's basically where we've gotten to today. Forget about evidence to the contrary. They don't have to say it. And in fact, I'll play what they say. It's the same exact thing they did. Same exact thing they did with Hunter Biden and Burisma. This is how it goes. Hey, what's going on with Hunter Biden and Burisma, somebody might ask. The media replies, well, we looked into that. No. Well, what did you look into? Hunter Biden and Burisma. Well, what'd you find? Nothing. Well, what'd you look into specifically? Hunter Biden and Burisma. What'd you find? There's nothing there. What do you mean there was nothing there? Hunter Biden was on the board of directors getting paid a healthy sum of money. What do you mean there was nothing there? Well, there wasn't anything substantive there. Okay, fine. I can accept that. What did you look into? What were the allegations and what led you to come to that conclusion? Why aren't you sharing this with me? Nothing happened. This is how it works. Trust us. Nothing happened. Same thing here. Same thing here. You got Stephanopoulos saying there's been 80-some challenges in court to the election integrity, various states and so forth. All of these court cases ruled against the Trump team or those that were arguing that there was problem and fraud in our elections. And that's all they say. What do you mean? What did they find? They found that there was nothing there. Okay, well, let's talk about what they were looking into. How many of those cases were actually thrown out because of some technicality, like standing, for example, which we know a big chunk of those were standing-related dismissals. Not as though the court looked at the evidence and said, give me a break, right? This is not what happened. There's no election fraud here. There's not enough to overturn the election. Most of these things where you're not the person that can bring this lawsuit to begin with. So they want you to think that all these courts looked at all this evidence and continually said, that's not right. No, right? That's what they want you to think. Of course, that is not what happened. So that being said, here's Rand Paul trying to be forced to say uncle by George Stephanopoulos on ABC this week over the weekend. Listen to this exchange.
This election was not stolen. Do you accept that fact?
Well, what I would say is that the debate over whether or not there was fraud should occur. We never had any presentation in court where we actually looked at the evidence. Most of the cases were thrown out for lack of standing, which is a procedural way of not actually hearing the question. There were several states in which the law was changed by the Secretary of State and not the state legislature. To me, those are clearly unconstitutional, and I think there's still a chance that those actually do finally work their way up to the Supreme Court. Courts traditionally and historically don't like to hear election questions. But yes, were there people who voted twice? Were there dead people who voted? Were there illegal aliens who voted? Yes, and we should get to the bottom of it. I'll give you an example. In my state, when we had a Democrat Secretary of State She refused, even under federal order, to purge the rolls of illegal voters. We got a Republican Secretary of State, and he purged the rolls.
Senator Paul,
I have to make a difference, and those things
I have to stop
occur.
you there. No election is perfect, but there were 86 challenges filed by President Trump and his allies in court. All were dismissed. Every state certified the results after investigations, counts, and recounts. The Department of Justice, led by William Barr, said there's no widespread evidence of fraud. Can't you just say the words, this election was not stolen?
What I would suggest is...
Say mercy.
What I would suggest is that if we want greater confidence in our elections, and 75% of Republicans agree with me, is that we do need to look at election integrity, and we do need to see if we can restore confidence in the elections.
Absolutely. Now, there's more to this. In fact, it gets even more heated than this. Stephanopoulos is not used to this. Normally, if you press back on some Republican, they say, mercy, I'm sorry. I can't believe I ever uttered the words election integrity. In fact, Trump was probably threatening me behind the scenes. I was so scared for my safety. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have been buddies with Chuck Schumer. In fact, I'm thinking of changing to become a Democrat. This is going on too long. We've got to put a stop to this. I was proud to be a Republican until Trump came along. Trump ruined the Republican Party. Everything was hunky-dory apple pie prior to that time, right? This is normally, I'm giving you a snapshot of a little bit of sarcasm and hyperbole, but you get the idea. And Rand Paul says, no. What are you talking about? These things were thrown out on standing, George. You're acting as though you're the arbiter of truth, which, sorry, the idea. And for those of you who are newer here to this program, welcome, by the way. But for those of you who haven't been around for very long, you may not realize that George Stephanopoulos worked with Bill Clinton. He was on Team Clinton, right? This is who the media believes is unbiased. They believe that unbiased people that they can hire for commentary and so forth to be journalists. It's really cute that George Stephanopoulos thinks he can get away with being a journalist. There's no journalism at ABC News. If there is, it's someone that is not well known. It's someone who is, not one of the people at the forefront here at ABC News, and they probably have fallen into it by accident. But anyway, this notion here that George Stephanopoulos is some sort of, fact-checking, straight down the middle, objective and fair. I mean, it's totally laughable. He doesn't even understand his role. He doesn't care about his role. In fact, he thinks his role is to get you to believe that he's right and Rand Paul is wrong. Think about that. You're supposed to trust the journalist over the person he's interviewing. Look, you shouldn't even know what a journalist thinks, folks. I know I'm old school on this, but in order to be a journalist, I should not know what your opinion on the issue even is. This is why most people can't be journalists. They need us to know what they think. That's why this program is not journalism. Although I will tell you this, I think I'm a whole lot fairer. At least I come to you and say, look, I'm objective in this matter. I think this person is right. I'll occasionally try to make the case from the other side. I did this with the election integrity issue back several weeks ago. I did this with the argument about certifying the election or whatever. I did this. I remember doing this. The media never tries to do that. They do this right here. Republicans lie. This election was not stolen. There's no reason to be concerned. Yeah, of course, things happen in every election. That's to be expected. But not wide-scale fraud. Remember, there was no fraud at first. Now there's not wide-scale fraud or enough fraud to change the outcome of the election. The American people have spoken. If you have a problem about this, problem about the election, you are trying to overturn democracy, which is ludicrous and ridiculous. This has happened other times in the past, not to this scale where there's been so much support for this. But folks, the vast majority of Republicans believe that this election was stolen. Now, Facebook may shut me down for saying that. I'm just telling you what people think. And if they shut me down for saying that, just remember, just ask yourself why. What are they so afraid of? Let's just discuss this. What is wrong with looking into this. Right? Biden has been sworn in. Biden is president of the United States. All right, let's figure out the problem and let's address it. And to what degree it needs fixed, let's fix it. And to what degree people were breaking the law, if any, let's hold them accountable. If people should be charged and face charges, then let that happen. If not, then so be it. What is so hard about this? This seems to be rather obvious to me. If tens of millions of Americans don't trust their election system, they're not going to, why would they participate? Why would they vote? Surely the left understands this. Anyway, by the way, that's a good reason why you should sign up for our email newsletter if you're afraid that they're going to censor us and you not be able to find us on Facebook or wherever you're looking for us. It's free to subscribe. In fact, you can also get your free Conservative Not Bitter membership card, which is pretty cool if I might add. People are talking about starting new political parties. You can be a card-carrying member of the Conservative Not Bitter Party. ToddHuffShow.com/subscribe, completely free, and I've got to take a break. Come back and pick up this conversation between George Stephanopoulos and Senator Rand Paul when we return. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at ToddHuffShow.com/shop today.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356. And ask for Richard or Roger.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Welcome back. By the way, this program is brought to you by Interior Construction Services. Interior Construction Services, they provide a variety of services, including residential construction, commercial construction, selective demo work, metal, stud, framing, drywall hanging and finishing, acoustic ceilings, doors and hardware. They do painting, interior and exterior, acoustic sound panels. They'll do basement build-outs at your residence, exterior pressure washing, dry erase walls, and custom interior paint. To find out more about Interior Construction Services, visit their website, interiorconstruct.com. That's interiorconstruct.com. They're located here in the great city of Indianapolis. So, I want to get back here to this soundbite, this exchange between Rand Paul and George Stephanopoulos. I played you kind of the beginning of this. Now I want to play for you really where it gets a little bit more heated in this exchange. I want to play for you the part where Rand Paul presses back. And pretty much, now this is a little bit longer, so I don't know where I'm going to interject this, but I want you to hear this. I want you to hear the back and forth. Remember, George Stephanopoulos is supposed to be a journalist. We're not supposed to know what a journalist thinks. I want you to really pause. I know you get this, but I want you to be prepared for when you talk with, someone at work, someone that you run into in the neighborhood. I don't know, someone who's just, hates Trump, loves whatever it is the media is telling him or her to love. And people don't understand or care, or they haven't stopped to think what a journalist is. They just think, man, Stephanopoulos laid it to Rand Paul. Yeah. Of course, that's not really what happens, but still, this is what they think. This is what they, cheer on. Stephanopoulos is supposed to be pretending to be a journalist. We should not know what a journalist thinks about something. We should not. And that's not meant to imply that a journalist is a second-class citizen, though I might have to think about that. I'm kidding. But it's meant to say if you want to do the job of journalist, your job, it's kind of like being moderator at a debate. We're not supposed to know what the moderator thinks. A good moderator keeps that to himself or herself. A good moderator makes sure that both sides can make their argument, make their case, respond to objections and all this sort of stuff, right? Not to throw their hat into the ring and say, here's what I think. I'm the arbiter of facts. I'm the person who's going to tell you, Senator Rand Paul, what the facts are. And if you can't accept them, then you by definition are the problem. That's essentially what George Stephanopoulos is doing here. So I want you to hear, this is the continuation of where we stopped last segment. Rand Paul on with George Stephanopoulos. Here you go.
Well, 75% of Republicans agree with you because they were fed a big lie by President Trump and his supporters who say the election was stolen. Why can't you say,
well, I think where
President Biden won a legitimate and fair election?
Hey, George, where you make a mistake is that people coming from the liberal side like you immediately say everything's a lie instead of saying there are two sides to everything. Historically, what would happen is if I said that I thought there was fraud, you would interview someone else who said there wasn't. But now you insert yourself in the middle and say the absolute fact is that everything I'm saying is a lie.
Well, because, Senator, I said what the president said was a lie because he said, hold on a second. He said the election was stolen. This election was not stolen. The results were certified in every single state.
Okay, pause this. He's saying, right, this is George Stephanopoulos, your president, your former president, President Trump, is saying the election was stolen. And he says this by fact wasn't stolen because it was certified. Well, pause the tape. This is called sleight of hand. This is called, really, it's a form of a straw man argument because it's not addressing the real objection. When President Trump says the election is stolen, let's look at the picture here. President Trump was saying, now you could say it's wrong. You can say he's wrong. You can say he's wrong by degree, meaning there's not enough of, enough fraud or enough malfeasance or whatever to overturn the election. You can say that. I said that from the beginning. I've said that from the very beginning. But to act as though there's no fraud and there's nothing to be concerned with is not a serious objection. It is not a serious position to take here. President Trump's position, whether you agree with it or not, was that there were things that had happened in the election. Before the election, right? Before the election, there were clear laws in states pertaining to how an election would be run, when absentee ballots would be received, what identification or signatures or whatever was required, and a lot of that was ignored. A lot of that in a lot of states was ignored, meaning that those ballots were counted that should not have counted. That is a fact. If you want to talk about facts, George Stephanopoulos, that is a fact. Now, let's just say that in and of itself, because remember, some of these states were relatively close. Georgia, 12,000. What was Wisconsin, 20,000. Pennsylvania. Michigan was bigger. Arizona wasn't by that many. So is it conceivable, George, in your mind, try to just think about this for a moment. Is it conceivable that the tens of thousands of votes may have been and changed if we didn't count all the ones that we normally don't count? And Rand Paul laid that out already, right? Normally these ballots were thrown out, whatever. That's one segment of this argument. That's one segment of this. Now, so then those were counted, right? The ballots that should not have been counted traditionally or according to the law, they were counted. Now, I'm not saying definitively that all those that count would have flipped a substantial number of states or even one state. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't have. We don't even know. And I'll say this, I don't think we ever can know. And I think it's fair to raise the question if even that part was intentional. Did they want us to never have the means by which we could actually determine, excuse me, what happened? They pulled, think about this, they pulled out of these machines the mechanism that actually kept a log of what was going on. They didn't let people see this. I forget which, was that Georgia? That may have happened in more than one state. It's hard to keep up with all of this. But if you're saying George is throwing terms out there that sound like they're a safety net to prevent the election from not, being miscalculated, but you're recounting. He's saying recounts, for example. Well, you're recounting ballots that are questionable. That count isn't going to change, George. We're saying that they shouldn't be potentially included in the count because of the law, because of what the law specifically says. And these ballots were cast in contrast or outside of what the law permitted. They should not be counted, period. But George is saying we're still counting them. We counted them 10 times. Why can't you accept that? Can you see the straw man here? Right? That is not a real way to respond to the question. It's clearly not a real way to respond to the question. But yet it sounds right to those, what the mind will justify what the heart desires. For those who don't want to hear anything else about election fraud, election integrity, whatever, they simply say, hey man, move on. Time to move on. That we did recounts. Well, you kept recounting the ballots that we're saying shouldn't have been counted. Well, they certified it. Well, you certified the counts that were including ballots that we say shouldn't be counted. So you're not, all these words that you're saying, all these processes that you want us to think mean something really different or that are ensuring the safety and the integrity of the election. They're all predicated on things that we're questioning at the beginning. So If an event happens at the beginning of the process, all the things that come from that event, we're saying you got to go back to the initial event, which is counting the ballots that should not have been counted. If you rectify that, now let's talk about those things. Now let's look at whether or not what the certified counts would have been. That would have changed the outcome potentially. Maybe it wouldn't have. Again, we don't know because there's no real curiosity or interest here because they got the outcome, they being the media, they the Democrat Party, they got the outcome that they desired. And Rand Paul is fighting with a journalist over simply being permitted to say what he thinks, to raise his concerns as a sitting U.S. senator. Facebook does the same thing. They all say, if you're going to say something like this, raise questions like this, we want to shut you up. That's what they're saying. That's what they're doing. I got more of this to play after the break, but I got to take a time out. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Would you like to save 20% or more on your insurance? Let AIA and Avon do a free comparison for you. As an independent agent, we can find savings that fit your needs and budget. We work for you, not the insurance companies. Whether your insurance need is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, president of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at Zuluscape.com.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable, flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
Hi, this is Kenton with Christian Community Connect. We're a network of business professionals that are committed to living out our faith in the marketplace by preferring one another in love while serving everyone. With online listings at $27 per month, if you're a Christian in business, committed to treating others as you would want to be treated, we would love to include you. Check our reviews and sign up at ChristianCommunityConnect.com.
Welcome back, my friends. So we've been talking here about really this ongoing debate. We've got a political purge happening. We've got payback politics in order. We've got a president who's not even in office anymore, who has been impeached and who will have a Senate trial, here in a week? Is it a week or two? Something close, not far from now. So, and we're now beginning the process of anyone who raised any questions about the integrity of the election, anyone who voted to challenge electors from states, we now need to politically purge them, make them pay the price. We want to expel, not you and I, but the left and the media wants to expel Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Josh Hawley, Republicans like Madison Cawthorn. They want to expel these folks from Congress because they, of course, have incited basically a civil war. That's what we're supposed to believe here because of their desire to challenge the election results. And I've got I don't have time as I look at this here to play Madison Cawthorn's interview with Pamela Brown, who, by the way, sounds like someone you would definitely not want to go to a party with. Pamela Brown seems like a lot of fun there, let me tell you, just based upon this conversation she had with Madison Cawthorn. But anyway, they want these folks to be expelled, to be penalized. But again, it's patently absurd and ridiculous. We know that the organization that was calling for the riots on the Capitol here several weeks ago now, that was done beforehand on social media and other places. Reprehensible, inexcusable. You've heard me from the very beginning say these things. That's not. I've done that. I've done that extensively. But the idea that Trump's speech, where he said, "Let's go march over to the Capitol and peacefully and patriotically let them know what we think," that apparently causes a riot in the minds of the radical left. It's silly, I know, but this is what they say. You have Senator Josh Hawley seeing a crowd of protesters outside the Capitol, raises a fist. That's apparently a signal to storm the Capitol, I guess. This is what they want you to think. It's also, by the way, look, I think these folks who said before the Capitol riots, the folks who said we're going to challenge the election results, and one of them is Senator Mike Braun here from our state. And I applaud him in part for standing up to this, or at least, well, I don't want to get into all that. But basically what I do want to say is this. For those who changed their vote after what happened at the Capitol building, they clearly were not opposing it for the right reasons. Because if you have questions about whether or not the state certified their correct electors, or they ran their elections properly, or what have you, if you have those questions, those should remain no matter what happens in the interim here. I mean, we don't want to be governed like that, do we? It's like John Roberts saying the reason, remember the reports from the Supreme Court, when they were looking at the Texas case, he was screaming at the other justices, presumably Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, who may be the only two that really are there that stand firmly by the Constitution no matter what. But it's been reported that Chief Justice Roberts, and we've talked about this on here, yelled and said, This is different. I don't hear about Bush v. Gore. This is different. In Bush v. Gore, we didn't have to worry about riots with our decision, basically. Now we do. Saying apparently we can't make a decision based upon merit. We have to say what's going to happen if we do make this decision, which to me only seems to say to empower those who have a certain outcome. If they have raised the rhetoric, if a group that's on one side of an issue has raised the political rhetoric to such a point to where if you rule against them in the courts, they're going to do something really bad. And if courts pay attention to that and listen to that, or same thing with politicians, then you've actually empowered these jokers, right? I mean, you have. If you're so afraid of what they might do based upon what you really think the law says, then you're giving in to this nonsense. It's not the way to do this. So the Capitol riots, and you know this in my mind is beyond basic. This in my mind, I'm a guy that's willing to hear out other sides here, but this is really, really simple to me. You do the right thing no matter what. In fact, I'll say this, and I'm going to take a break here. But I think a lot of folks think leadership is all about intelligence. And of course, you need to have intelligence. I'm not saying that you don't. Unfortunately, we don't necessarily have that today as well. That's why Biden can get away with saying he's going to cure cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. I'm waiting for the memo, or maybe this will come just strictly by executive order. You figure we're, about a week in now. I think we should be getting the executive order on curing this. But anyway, you look at this and you realize that leadership is often about simply doing the right thing. No matter what the opposition, leadership is about doing the right thing. So, in my estimation, and yes, you need to make good. I'm not saying you can be a total idiot. Don't misunderstand. But if you look down to really, I guess, does it take intelligence, or does it take strength of will and character and conviction to stand up to people like the Islamic Republic of Iran whenever they're acting the way that they do? Is that really an intelligence thing, or is that simply having the strength and the character and the resolve to do the right thing? This is my point. And I see the same thing with where we are as a nation today. If we're at a point to where we're going to say, look, the other side's really mad, we just got to do whatever they say, and if we oppose it, even if the law clearly states that this is the case, if we stand up for the law, the rule of law, the Constitution, it's going to cause people to get upset and maybe riot. If that's factoring into the decision process of judges or elected representatives, in my estimation, they have no business being there. If folks then use this decision, use Congress's vote as an excuse to riot, they should be arrested and charged for the laws that they've broken. You cannot capitulate and cow to the side that, well, it doesn't matter which side, whoever it is, you can't make decisions based upon that. This is so elementary to me. Don't even know why we have to discuss this, but this is what it means. This is what it means to be in a world where there's a political purge taking place, and payback politics is in full swing in Washington, D.C., courtesy of the modern Democrat Party and the professional deceivers in the media. Quick timeout is in order. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Problems in the bedroom? Not that kind. Bed bugs. At Integrated Pest Control, we make sure you never have to worry about any pests in your home or business again. We are the bed bug specialists with over 20 years of combined experience. Our promise is to keep your home or business completely pest-free for 90 days, or we will retreat the area absolutely free. Visit IntegratedPestControlLLC.com or call 317-349-0094 for your free bed bug inspection.
Welcome back, folks. Look, waning moments of the program here. Not a lot of time. A lot of time left. But I tell you what. I'll have. I'm not going to even get to this remaining soundbite from the conversation between Stephanopoulos and Rand Paul. But we'll have Pedals. She'll post that to the website later today, and you can see the full interviews about 6 minutes. So you can see that. But again, we've entered the era, and this to me is the takeaway at this particular point in time. We've entered the era of the political purge. If you're on the wrong side of this, they want you to pay. If you are on the Republican side, you better pledge your willingness to work with President Joe Biden and Democrats in Congress. You better talk about your willingness to convict former President Donald J. Trump. If you're a senator and you have this impeachment trial coming up, you better be willing to say these things, or else you better not mention a word about election integrity. You better not mention anything about your concerns for fraud or trying to clean any of that up, because that is not acceptable. And look, I'm not saying, I want to go on record here. If President Biden does the things that he and his party want to do, those things need to be stopped. Those things need to be stopped. Don't put the pressure on me or Republicans to work with him. How about he do things? He use his position and power to actually try to unite and find some things that there may be some common agreement upon. Anyway, got to take a break. Come back and wrap up. Sit tight. Be back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Why would you call a company called Commercial Service for your home heating, cooling, and plumbing? Same question I had, because they have provided over 70 years of quality service and Trane products for both homes and businesses in Central Indiana. It's hard to stop Commercial Service, and it's hard to stop a Trane. Give them a call. I'm glad I did.
Call Commercial Service at 812-339-9114 or online at commercialservice.com. Commercial Service, commercial-grade service for your home.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Our word can't be diluted, because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Ever wondered what shooting a real machine gun feels like? At Indie Trading Post, you can have an awesome and safe shooting experience in our family-friendly environment. Firing a weapon on full auto is something you will always remember. Schedule some range time today and let Indie Trading Post give you the real machine gun shooting experience. We guarantee you'll have a blast. Give us a call at 317-782-4867 or schedule your range time at fullautoindy.com.
All right, folks, that is about all the time that we have today, but fear not, we'll be back here at the helm tomorrow. You can also check out archives of our program, toddhuffshow.com/listen, and I encourage each of you as well to take a look at downloading the podcast completely free. Go to Apple Podcasts or whatever you use to listen to podcasts. It's really very simple. Just subscribe. That'll go to your phone each and every day, and you can check out this podcast, this program, which is converted to a podcast as well, directly on your phone, just so you don't miss anything important. And there's plenty we get to that is important. Folks, I've got to go. Music tell me it's time to shut up. SDGC tomorrow. Take care.
Warren Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located 65 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corn Homes, family owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.